So you want to buy this damn Evo, huh?
I do.
Oh,
It's
shit.
the one.
Oh, man. This car has been so tough to let go.
I have watched most of the videos on it.
If I was to keep the car, I'd take the wrap off. I don't think this car should have a wrap on it, being that everything else is just perfect on it. You'd rip the wrap off, respray the electric blue, and the car's...
Thank you, man.
Yep, see ya. We're selling the blue Evo 8, boys. This is sad. Whew, where do I even start? I have the most unfortunate news. At least I think it's unfortunate. My favorite car I've ever built, the car that I've put the most amount of hours into, the car I've probably put the most amount of money into, is gone. Well, it's still here, but the car is sold. Yeah, a few months back I put it up for sale, just kind of messing with the idea of, should we get rid of it? And then I had a ton of offers on the car. I decided not to get rid of it. I really wanted the car to go to a very specific person that I knew would enjoy the car and take care of it. I didn't want it just to go to some regular Joe Blow off the street that was gonna beat the shit out of it. So I decided to keep it, and then someone messaged me and they were very, very, very interested in it. They seem like a very down-to-earth person that's gonna take care of the car, and we got on the phone and he bought the car. So the car sold. He is down in California and he does want a few things changed on the car, so we are gonna be changing up the turbo setup on it and maybe a couple other little things as well. It's been a while. I have a whole list of things that I gotta swap out. But basically, we're pulling the 62 mil turbo off and we're going to a AGT 55 mil dual ball bearing turbo. It's gonna be a very sick turbo for the build. So we're gonna change that. We're changing of course, the exhaust manifold, going back to a full-size radiator, going to a carb legal intake for California because California is weird and they require weird shit like that. What else? Fuel system staying the same. Pretty much the whole car staying the same except the turbo kit. Today we're gonna go ahead and swap that out. I'm sad to see this setup go because the 6266 on the car is perfect. Car makes ridiculous amounts of power, but he wants it a little bit quicker spooling for, daily drivability, I guess you would say. So yeah, my favorite car, your guys' favorite car is now being sold. So today we're gonna swap all that out and hopefully go on one last drive after we get everything installed. And yeah, just make sure everything's dialed in. I'm not sure if he's gonna drive it down to California or if he's gonna ship it, but either way, we gotta get her done. All right, everything is off the car. We had to pull the bumper off, turbo kit. Here's the downpipe, lower intercooler pipe, and then the radiator setup with the fan and overflow tank and all that good stuff. So this here is everything going on the car. We have a new STM downpipe, AEM carb legal intake, nice little tubular manifold. We got a turbo, and here is an MAP catted test pipe. Let's get all this good stuff opened up. I'm excited to see that turbo. We run an AGT 55 mil journal bearing on Jared's 10, and that car made, what was it, 520 wheel, 530 wheel on E85. So they're a solid little turbo. They're nice. So here is our nice little 55 mil dual ball bearing Arginari turbo. Now, of course, this turbo is not gonna make nearly as much power as the 62 mil made, but it is gonna spool quite a bit faster. So that is nice. Let's go ahead and get it mounted up on the intake on the exhaust manifold with the new gaskets that they provided, and we can go ahead and get this bad boy installed onto the car. Oh man, turbo kit's in, radiator's back in. We put a stock radiator in the car. Downpipe was on, manifold of course is on. It's so weird seeing this thing back to like a stock turbo form. Not a big old precision sitting down there anymore. Last thing to do is to go ahead and open up our AEM intake. So let's get this bad boy slapped on the car. So unfortunately, we cannot use the intake yet. I need to find a coupler. Hopefully I can find one tomorrow. It's got to be a 3-inch 45-degree coupler. I don't have one here. The one they included is for the stock turbo. It's a 3-inch to 2.5-inch, which of course does not work with our AGT turbo. But here's the bay, pretty much all finished up. The intake tube is blue, and it's gonna sit right here. So yeah, pretty much all ready to go. Let's go and get some coolant in this thing and get her fired up. Make sure it still freaking runs. Just ran back to the house and grabbed our titanium lower intercooler pipe. This pipe never worked with the other turbo kit. Pretty sure it's made for a stock turbo kit. It was our decoration back at the house up on the shelf because it's so freaking beautiful, but it belongs on this car, so let's see if she'll fit. So it looks like it's gonna fit, which is what I expected, but I need to get some sort of longer coupler so it can route around the dump tube on the STM downpipe. I'm gonna go run in real quick, grab a coupler for that, grab a coupler for the intake, and this thing should be 100% dialed, ready for our last freaking drive. Here in Spokane, actually not too far from my shop, is a place called Intake Hoses. They literally have every coupler in the world. So I got the coupler for the intake, and then the super long one that we're gonna have to trim down a little bit for the intercooler pipe. I never knew this place existed. Lower intercooler pipe is on. This coupler right here is definitely not ideal, but it's gonna have to work. The reason it's not ideal is we're supposed to get a 2" to 1.75" 45, but no one here locally has one. They're super hard to find apparently. So the 2 to 2 works. It's like I said, it ain't perfect, but that piping sure does look nice on here. Intake is also on, kind of a different setup that we have on here. Of course, the factory BOV is supposed to sit right there, but this car is running the tile BOV, which is what the buyer still wants on this thing. So all we have to do is just cap that off and still run the tile. But yeah, there she is, all finished up. So weird looking. It's almost stock looking now with the big old intake in there. All right, the very last thing we're gonna install on this car today for the new buyer is a Kigley HLA. This car is currently running a factory one, and what the Kigley one does is it actively regulates lash adjuster supply pressure to a constant 15 psi, reduces oil flow to the head, keeps more oil in the pan. Air bleed at the highest point helps oil quality and aeration to lash adjusters. So very easy to do. Let's pop the valve cover off and get this Kigley installed, and then we can go drive the car. All right, guys, this thing is complete. I'm gonna have one last look at the inner side of this thing, one last look at the bay, and one last drive. Maybe not the very last drive, but probably the last drive. I have no idea when the car is leaving. He is getting it shipped, so I don't know when they're gonna come pick it up. But yeah, let's just make sure this thing's good to go, and we'll go from there. Thank you. There's gonna be a lot of lasts today. Last cup of Joe in the Evo 8. Now, of course, we can't get into boost too much, but we can tip into it. Ooh, ooh, yeah. He's gonna freaking love this setup. Damn. It spools so fast. Sheesh.